May I have your attention, please? First, let me say that I feel you, your pain, and your struggle. The world has been in a state of disarray since the Avengers' epic battle with Thanos. Captain America is somewhere on the moon.
No.
Black Widow's location is unknown, and we sadly lost Tony Stark. However, since that tragic day, we have searched far and wide and vetted candidate after candidate to answer one question. Who will be the next Iron Man? Ladies and gentlemen, I think we found her. Introducing your next Iron Man, or should I say Iron Woman, Morgan Stark. Morgan Stark? Isn't Riri Williams the successor to Iron Man as Ironheart in the comics? Wasn't Riri in the Ironheart Disney Plus show already announced? Yes and yes, but that doesn't mean we won't have a transitional quote-unquote Iron Man, much like when John Walker took on the mantle of Cap. Also, it looks like the MCU could have already set this up. When we were introduced to Morgan Stark, it was to show the life Tony built after Thanos snapped half of the world away. For once, along with Pepper, Tony had something to ground him, and he also now had something to lose as he stepped back into the world of avenging. Between the Starks, we got a ton of cute moments such as I love you 3000, Morgan repeating things that should never be said, and even Baby Stark wearing the rescue suit helmet, foreshadowing Pepper donning the suit in the final battle against Thanos. This is where things get interesting though, because there may be more to this scene. This moment could be looked at as nothing but a cute moment shared between father and daughter. However, as you know, the MCU does nothing by accident. Simply put, there may be ways the writers of Avengers Endgame could have teased the rescue suit. But they didn't. They had Morgan wear it. So, as much as like how Rhodey glancing at the Mark II Iron Man suit was enough of an Easter egg to tell us his future as War Machine, Morgan wearing the helmet and a line being dropped that she loves hanging out in the garage could tell us that she's on the path to continuing her father's legacy. If this theory holds true and Morgan is set to become Ironheart or some iteration of it, then there are a ton of things for Morgan and us to be excited about, because if the comics tell us anything, the Ironheart suit is next level. A lot of fans are clamoring to see Robert Downey Jr. return to the MCU in some capacity. If you're one of those people, then don't I have some news for you. Tony Stark is back, just not in the way you expected. Developed by Tony in case his body no longer functioned, or, you know, the super genius created an AI version of himself to keep the shop running. It's unclear if Tony's video message to Morgan at the end of Avengers Endgame was a tease to his AI form debuting in the MCU, but this version of Tony is like Jarvis to Ironheart in the comics. Actually, less like Jarvis and more so like Tony is actually there serving as a mentor, leaving Morgan in this case in safe hands. The suit itself is sleek and has plenty of cool gadgets to keep Morgan safe from harm. The second version of the suit, which Morgan will likely start with since she doesn't have to build a suit in a cave, has an insane amount of durability and strength that can manhandle a foe like Rhino and help her survive taking shots from Doombots. Just don't let her get near Thanos. If that does happen and the suit gets destroyed, Morgan has nothing to worry about, as an upgrade is in her future. The Ironheart Model 3 suit takes all the features of the Model 2, such as energy shields capable of blocking lasers, repulsor grenades, the classic repulsor beams, and improves on them, making them stronger than ever. In a pinch, she'll be able to launch an array of micro-precision missiles from her wrist. Her helmet never has to come off, as the suit features a dynamic faceplate capable of becoming transparent, and the suit will be available for access anytime she needs it. Stored in a very fashionable bracer, the suit can form around Morgan in mere seconds, readying her for battle in an instant. All this sounds super exciting for Morgan, but if she is taking on the mantle, where does that leave Riri Williams, who is confirmed to debut in the Ironheart Disney Plus show? Is there room for two powerful women suited up continuing Stark's legacy? The answer to that is yes, and here's why. For Morgan, I can see her story being rooted in grief and centered around trying to replace what she and the world lost. For her, she has to be the next Iron Man, has to be a hero, and has to live up to the legacy Tony left behind. Sounds kinda similar to another guy trying to replace a legend. As for Riri, her story is entirely different. In the comics, she wasn't necessarily brought in to serve as Iron Man's replacement. Rather, the title of Ironheart was created to be something entirely different. Something that was inspired by Tony but was meant to honor him rather than replace him. This ideology is buried deep into Riri's characterization, as the first Ironheart suit was reverse engineered by her to serve as a deterrent to all the low-life criminals in her neighborhood, especially those who sadly took her parents' life in a drive-by. This technological feat is what catches Tony's attention and what brings Riri into the world of the Avengers. In the MCU, of course, Tony is long gone, but it's possible Morgan can take on that mentor role. Now, of course, there's first going to be some conflict. Riri is stepping up on Morgan's toes, but I believe this conflict could be rooted more in Tony's passing. This life of avenging is what took her father away. Why did he live this life? Why did he leave Morgan behind? Riri's admiration for Tony and what he did for the world could serve as the catalyst that allows Morgan to heal from her trauma, and the title of Iron Man, or whatever Morgan goes by, gets passed down to Riri, where the true Ironheart can take flight. Things are definitely heating up in the MCU. We have a brand new Cap, a new Iron Man is coming. Did you see the Phase 4 trailer? It's such a good time to be a nerd. What upcoming movie or show are you most excited about? MCU, Iron Man's replacement is revealed.